Hi guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm bringing you an original tag. So this has been in the works for a little while. Ever since Young Royals season 2 was announced, I've been thinking about this, but I didn't want to go obvious. I didn't want it to be like Wilhelm, a book with the prince, Simon, a book about being gay, because what's the point? There's a million tags like that. So I tried to think a little bit deeper into the characters, and hopefully you like this tag, whether you've seen Young Royals or not. And if the answer is you have not, then go watch it because it's great. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump straight in and hopefully you enjoy the tag. So question 1, of course, is Wilhelm, because he is our main character. So Wilhelm is a young prince of Sweden who has been sent to boarding school because he's spent one too many times in the public doing unprincely things. So he's been sent to the boarding school. So with Wilhelm's character, he's pulled between what he wants and what is expected of him. He is a prince, he's the Prince of Sweden, and one really great thing about Young Royals is his sexuality isn't the main focus. Yes, he starts liking a boy and he's like, oh, that's new and different, but that isn't the main focus. It's more about his indecision of doing what he wants or doing what's expected of him. There are certain beliefs about honour and duty and what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing as a prince. He has to uphold the family, he has to be a certain person. He has to fit into a role that's been designated for him. So for Wilhelm's question, it is a character who has a lot of expectations placed upon them. So this could be anything from a fantasy type chosen one, or it could be a contemporary sort of certain sports that they should do, or they should do well in school, or they should be a royal, etc. So it's quite an open question. So for me, I'm going with Nathan out of the Half Bad series by Sally Green. He is half white witch, half black witch, and there's a lot of expectations on him that he's going to be bad because his dad is a black witch who is like the most evil black witch in the world. Everyone just expects that he's going to be bad even though he's got the white witch part of him as well. This book starts with him just being put in a cage and being treated like absolute shit because of who he is, not what he's done. So there are a lot of expectations that are placed on him that are not necessarily who he is or what he wants to be. So this works for this prompt. So question 2 is Simon. Simon is our love interest. He's 100% unabashedly himself. He comes from quite a poor family. Him and his sister go to the school as day students rather than boarding school. He's from an immigrant family, so he speaks a different language at home with his single mother and his sister than he does at school. He's not afraid to stand up for himself. He has struggles fitting in at this school because of the fact that he's poor and because he's not a boarding person and all these different things, but he doesn't let anybody's feelings for him change his feelings about himself. He doesn't let anybody treat him badly. If somebody treats him badly, he'll make sure that they know not to do that. His family is very important to him, his mum and his sister, and we also see a little bit about his father throughout the series as well. So this question for Simon is a book where family plays an important role. Bonus points if there's different cultures and LGBT stuff involved too, but not necessary. So my pick has all 3 of the above, and that is One Man Guide by Michael Barakeeva. This is about an Armenian American boy and it deals a lot of his family. It also has a bit of a love interest thing in here. His family want him to go to summer school because he's not doing as well on their tests that he should be. And throughout there's a lot of culture about Armenia. There's a lot of food and stuff discussed in here. And there's the bit with the boy that starts being his friend and then maybe more. So it has all of the above. Next up we have Sara, who is Simon's sister. She also goes to the school, not as a boarder, but on a day-to-day thing, because they're from a not well-off family. So Sara, outwardly, she just does her own thing. She likes going to the stables and looking after the horses because she thinks the horses are just better to interact with than people. Fair play. And she just sort of does her own thing. But inwardly she does feel like she wants to be accepted by everyone. She wants to feel like part of this school. She doesn't want to be a day trip person. She wants to be at the boarding school and fit in and be like everybody else. Also, side note, we've talked about the sexuality not being a big deal. Another thing that's great with Young Royals is Sara has ADHD and she's autistic, but it doesn't define her as a person. Also, the actress has autism as well, so that's great representation. But that was just a little side note. So for Sara's question, she's very into horses. So I want to know a hobby or interest that you want to see more of in books, because so many books have the same interest. You have a character that likes reading, or you have a character that likes a sport, but there are so many different hobbies. So for this one, I have sort of one proper one and one kind of one. So first of all, the proper one, the hobby. I would love to see photography in books more often, but not as, oh, it's the pretentious photography student. People just like taking pictures, you know. A character could just look at something nice and take a picture of it. It doesn't have to be deep and like philosophical and the weird photography student in the corner. Also, most of the time I've seen photography in books, it's really annoying because the author clearly doesn't know what they're on about. They'll mention a certain lens or something and it just won't fit with what they're doing. I also feel like this happens on TV a lot. You see somebody with like a fixed lens and they're just doing this constantly, zooming in and out and in and out. It's always really weird. So I would like to see photography more. And also, this is not really a hobby, it's kind of an interest, but I'd like to see pets more often. Because yeah, sometimes a character will have a cat, for example, but you'll see it mentioned maybe 2 or 3 times walking in the room. Realistically, if you are a pet owner, how much of an impact does your pet have on your life? I bet it's more than you see it 2 or 3 times in the space of like a month, innit? It's constant. Your pet is always in your room, it's always on your lap, it's always taking it for a walk. So I feel like pets in books are not given enough of a point of view as a family member, because they definitely probably take up more time than other family members sometimes. So, you know, give us more pets. After that rant, this seems like a perfect time to go over to a message from one of our sponsors, and then I shall be back with the rest of the tag.
Do the roof hole. Yes, that is my favourite belly. Oh, again. Okay.
So next up we have Felice. Felice is the sort of popular it girl in here. She's from modern nobility, very rich, very prestigious person. And another thing, like a trope that is flipped on its head in young royals, along with the sexuality thing and the disability thing. Felice, the it girl, is a plus size woman of colour who is genuinely a really nice person and really nice to her friends. How often is that the popular girl at school? We'd love to see it. So Felice has her own things that she's dealing with. She does have a bit of an overbearing mother that feels like she should be a certain person. She should really like the horses. She's got her Instagram account that she's a certain person on. But throughout the series, she does start to learn to stand up for herself as much as she stands up for her friends around her. So it's a nice little arc there. So for Felice's question, it is a book that subverts a trope or a character that goes against an archetype. So here's a well-known fantasy trope that happens. Loads of your friends will get murdered and you're fine. The baddie is really nasty to you and you're fine. You're in a fantasy world where loads of stuff goes really weird and wrong and the character's always fine. So I'm choosing The Amethyst Panda by Mccloud. This is the second book in the Maiamon series, and I just love the fact that our main character dealt with loads of stuff in the first the first book in this series, and there's actual consequences. Like mentally she feels bad. She's clearly got some issues, some PTSD, some depression. She actually has feeling. And I feel like that very often does not happen in fantasy books. Like the worst stuff can happen to a character and the next chapter they just brush it off as if nothing's happened. So I really like the fact that this subverts that sort of fantasy trope and shows that, you know, if bad stuff happens to you, you probably are gonna have lasting consequences. And you're probably going to think about it a lot and you're probably not going to be very happy about it. So that's why I've chosen this book for this question. And last but not least, we have August, who is very polarising. I say that. Most people hate him. So with August, he's very pompous, he's very holier than thou. He thinks he's better than everybody else. He's rich, he's, you know, the it boy, if you like. But under the surface of August, I feel like a lot of people miss this because he does do some bad stuff in the series. But under the surface, he just wants to be liked. He wants to be liked by the girl. He wants to be liked by his family. He wants to be liked by his extended family because he is a cousin to Wilhelm. So he's kind of related to the royals. He wants to be liked at school. He just wants to be liked, but he doesn't go the very best way around it. He makes very rash thoughts and decisions with no thoughts of the consequences behind it, probably because of the way he's been brought up. So for this one, our last question, the question is, a character who is unlikable or morally grey, who shows signs of weakness and humanity. So, oh, also bonus points if it's not the Darkling. So for this one I had several different ideas running around in my head. I thought one was too obvious, it's something that I always pick. Another one I was like, I don't know. So my choice is Jeopard from Sweet Tooth, more specifically in the first couple of volumes. So in here our main character Gus is a human that was born with animal bits, and in this world they're very frowned upon. People think that the reason that they exist is the reason that everybody else is dying out. They're seen as a bad thing and people want to kill them all. And then we have Jeopard, who says that he wants to take Gus, or Sweet Tooth as he calls him, to this sanctuary, but you don't know whether he's being truthful or not. Is he actually looking after Gus? Does he want to take care of him? Or is he lulling him into a false sense of security to use him for bad stuff? The first few volumes, you know, what's going on? So that's why I've chosen Sweet Tooth. So there we go, that was the Young Royals book tag. I hope you enjoy it. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you haven't seen Young Royals, definitely check it out. It's absolutely wonderful. It's only 6 episodes, I think, so it's really quick to get through. I've only watched it twice so far, definitely need a rewatch. And tagging people. I'm not 100% sure who has or hasn't watched Young Royals, although I am tagging Introverted Reader and This Cubed because I personally forced them both to watch this, so you two are definitely tagged. But other than that, if you are watching this and you enjoy Young Royals, you're tagged. If we are mutuals that watch each other's videos, whether you've seen Young Royals or not, it would be great if you do this tag to share it out to a few more people. So yeah, let me know in the comments any of your answers if you're not going to do the tag, or let me know if you've watched Young Royals. Just say some words down below and I shall reply. And if this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, then please check out some of my others, and if you continue to enjoy, then please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye.